Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, April 4th. We're looking at Window Traders market profile of the ES and NQ. So, right off the bat, a lot to talk about. We're going to go over all these charts. It's our largest range in ES in over probably 2.5 years. It's our heaviest volume in over 2.5 years. We're going to hit 200 million in SPY today. That's the volume I was talking about that you would want to see if you think long-term money is selling, right? Yesterday was 126 million. Today, 200 million. Long-term money will keep selling until they exhaust themselves. They finally came in when we broke out of that balance, okay? Couple of interesting things, though. 2 days of incredible ranges in selling, yet ES and NQ did not hold trend down once. It's a little nuance. We do have tremendous gaps above us from yesterday and today. The other thing, righty really found its footing and just traded sideways a good part of the afternoon, as you can see. They actually took out both sides of the IB. So righty ends with a 9-wide point of control and an afternoon pullback in H, but they do have the large gap above them. NQ goes out with an 8-wide POC and an afternoon rally high. Now, we did probe, but not by a lot. Interestingly enough, they just missed August 5th's monthly low, and they have large gaps today and yesterday, okay? ES goes out, 8-wide point of control, afternoon rally high. They missed filling their gap from May 3rd last year by a couple of ticks. Now, and we, again, large gaps above. You notice I carry forward old POCs. If we gap below them and this and that, those are the only things I carry forward if we gap above or below a reference point. And we have the gap from the other day. We have new yearly lows in the maintenance session. Okay? Remember, our monthly high is in the maintenance session. Well, right now, our yearly low, give me a second, because I have the maintenance session here, is in the overnight. So whatever this, either N or O, whatever it is tonight, will be your low. Now, I don't have NQ up with N and O period, so I'll get that from somebody Monday morning in my trading room. Now, again, we might open with a large gap down Monday. I have no idea. And then the maintenance is kind of meaningless. It does look like a B shape. I do believe it's long-term money selling it. When will it stop? It'll stop when they exhaust themselves. Plain and simple. When they exhaust themselves, they'll stop. I don't know if it's going to be, it's generally not 1 or 2 days. Okay, and the more they exhaust themselves, well, then the more that the bottom feeders and momentum buyers will get pushes up because there'll be less to sell. So nothing changes though unless you take out a daily high. Now, with ranges of this magnitude, if we don't have a gap lower on Monday, there's a good chance to have an inside day. The other thing is you have to not worry, you have to be aware of anything that comes out of the White House about these tariffs or anything else. Powell spoke today and says nothing of any meaning. Like I said, if you watch this video, morning's video, I told you what I feel about anybody in the Fed, government, you name it. We're all clueless. And and especially any money manager or analyst. How do you think their clients are feeling today? So the clients are ready to jump out the window, and you'll have some guy telling their client, well, we're down only 18% and the market's down 21%. Think about that. Clueless. I'm not going over my trades because I did nothing but short the market and had a great day. Didn't play anything over one lot. Took one loss today. That was in D period when they really ramped D period up and took back the trend day. I firmly believe if you didn't get that push, you would have probably held trend because we never really got back up there again at all. I almost got back in to short the opening, but I didn't. Everything else I got, right? We talk about the one-time framing, the overnight low, the IB low, ebb and flow trades. You name it, we got it. Believe it or not, I did take one long, first long in 2 days. And the reason I took it is because we weren't holding trend down. And I said, well, if they can't hold trend down, we're going to get a relief valve. So I took the long in, what time frame was that? I. Took the long in I to pop H's high. Now I missed J's high for the short. I forgot, what did it get up to? Got up to 30. I forgot exactly where I was offering, but I just missed it. Didn't get it, and I didn't get it. So I missed one of my favorite trades, which is the afternoon rally high. But we were talking about it in the room. I said, now again, I'm in ones, and a lot of things change. A lot of things change late in the day. But at the time, if I put this back in ones, the afternoon rally high was right near the overnight low. Our volume pop was there. You had a lot of things going on there in ES. Now, I wasn't looking at ES, I was looking at NQ. I had an offer in just a little higher, and it didn't get there. Again, we don't tell people after the fact, oh, man, I should have shorted J's high. No. We're telling people an hour in advance what we're possibly looking for. Well, if we can't hold trend, we're going to stop the one-time framing. Well, we took the long. Then we're going to look for the afternoon rally high. Again, we were saying where we would look for it. We said this area in ES, and we said this area in NQ. Just didn't get to exactly where I was offering it. So, and then when they were rallying the market, again, you try to tell people, on days like today, the odds of them really any rally holding are slim. Yes, sometimes they start to rally at the right time late in the day and it'll hold. M period, they started it too early. They ramped it up early in M, and then they just, look where they are. We closed at the lows. At the lows. And we're making lower lows in the maintenance session. Now, let's just go to the charts and see what kind of damage we have here. Okay? So here's NQ. Again, if you didn't watch the morning video, I advise you to watch it because I explain about fund managers and stuff. So I think it'd be worth for you to look at. We're down the monthly. Okay, we got down to as low as 176.67. Now they did close $5 off their lows. Remember, NQ's basically not NQ. IWM's basically been the leader to the downside. Maybe they'll try to lead us to the upside, right? We'll see. But here's a level I've talked about. I've talked about it for a long time. Back in August of 2018, IWM made their all-time high at 173.39. It took 2 years to get back over that level. In fact, 2 years and 2 months. November of 2020. Okay? Went to all-time highs and then came back. And look where we came back to. We dipped below it a couple of times. That 173.39 level. We kept dipping back in and out, right? Even during COVID. We got below it by $12. But then the next month, we got above it again. We're not too far away from that level again. I still think that's a key level. Between 173.39, that's August of 2018's high, and COVID's low of 160.167. Now, we might not get down there. You know, did we put our lows in? Look, I don't think we put our lows in. But if we do go push lower, remember, and a lot of times, Righty and IWM are good barometers of the market. Okay? So keep an eye on that 173.50 level, around there. So the monthly is down. Let's see if they go test that 173. I wouldn't doubt it. Obviously, the weekly is down. What's the next big level on the weekly? I'm looking. Give me 1 sec. Again, it's below your next weekly target is probably around that 173 level. And that's right here, I think, right? Nope, that's lower. Oh, that was a high. That was a monthly high. So the weekly low, the next real target on the weekly is basically 167.62. So there is a good chance we'll test that level at that 173 level. I'm not saying we won't have decent rallies before we get there. We might have some relief rally or something of that nature. But I don't think the lows are in. So the monthly and weekly are down, and so is the daily, obviously. Look at this. We have 2 large gaps. Okay? Righty did 91 million today. Righty averages, IWM averages 29 million. They did 91 million. SPY averages 59 million. We're up to 208 million. Triple Q's averages 39 million. They're at 115 million. That's long-term money getting out. Okay? I believe so. Now let's go to NQ. So in IWM, that 173 level, I think, is the next target in the bigger picture. What's our bigger picture in NQ? Or our hump levels, as we've been saying. We'll give the hump levels to the downside. So we took out August low by only $1. Not even $1, right? 423, 45, 422.67. So this is an interesting level here. If we don't hold this level, well, your next target will be 413 on the monthly. That would be your next target on the monthly. If they don't hold that, watch out. If they don't hold that, we'll be talking COVID lows of 342. So let's see. Yes, we did take out this August low, but not by a lot. Do we get continuation down and test April low of 413? I think we have a good chance of doing that. And then we'll see what happens there. So the monthly is down. So my next big hump level, I'll round it out, is 413. And again, I'm using triple Qs. But if you want to use NQ, it's April's low of 2024. The weekly is down also. Again, look at their next target. That's what I just said, 413 and change. There's the monthly that they breached. So, 413. And then the daily, I'm not going to give levels. I'm just going to show you. And by the way, well, there it is. Remember, August 5th of last year, okay, was the only day that they got below the 200-day moving average last year. Remember? Them in IWM, and ES never got to it. Well, now we breached that low. So again, I'm looking around the 413 level. Now, that's not a far way down. So maybe we get some exhausting selling on Monday and hit those levels. That's a possibility, right? Both IWM and triple Qs. They're not that far from the levels we're talking about. Now, let's look at the S&P. Our next big level, obviously we're down, is 494. Can we get there? Of course we can. That's April of 2024's low. So absolutely we can get there. I think that could be a nice level. Again, that's a level you want to hold. And the reason for that is if you don't hold it, that was when we came down after we went from bull to balance because we took out that monthly low, 3-month balance, and then we took off again. So you want to see this hold and become a balance now in 2025. If that doesn't hold, you know, your next target is COVID lows, 409. Now, I'm sorry, not COVID low. I don't know why I'm saying that. October of 2023's low. I apologize. I'm saying COVID. I don't mean that. So Do we get to this level? Yeah, I think we do. What happens after that? That remains to be seen. That is where you want to see the market come into balance then at that point. And then you see how you come out of it. If you're a bull, you want to come out of that balance to the upside. So our hump level is 493, 494. I like rounding out on the monthly. And the monthly ones are the bigger ones. And guess what? On the weekly, it's going to be the same thing. There you go. April 15th low from last year. Almost a year ago. So guess what we just did? We just took almost a year's worth of gains and just flushed them down the toilet. Now, and the daily obviously down also. Now remember, there's August 5th from last year. We never got to 200. Remember we talked about this. We were below the 200 and we kept talking what is long-term money going to do? We weren't sure yet. Then we got above it. We traded at it 3 days. But couldn't get any real distance to the upside. Couldn't get distance. Then we came off of it. Then we rallied. We're like, wow, here they go again. Now we went bull, balance, bear, balance. Okay, we're in a 4-day balance. What are we going to do? I said I think long-term money is still on the sidelines, remember? We don't say this now. I'm not telling you after the fact. We talked about this 3 days ago. I said, well, if we come out of the balance to the upside and win the 200-day moving average, maybe long-term money will come in to buy it up here. But if we don't and come out of balance to the downside, maybe long-term money sells it. Well, guess what? I always give you both sides. Guess what they did? They sold it yesterday, 126 million, and so far they sold it today for 209 million. Again, we kept this room so cool, calm, collected today. Had a lot of, I think the room had a good day. Again, I can't, unless I, tase somebody or something of that nature. You could only tell them so much what I think they shouldn't be doing on days like today. And that's rare. It's rare, right? Yeah, we didn't have a trend day, so hey, we had two-sided trade. But that doesn't mean longs were winning. Of course not. We closed at the lows of the day. So just think about who won. Again, you can only say it so much. Anyway, I hope you had a good day and a good week trading. Rest up. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Strongly would love to see you guys try out my trading room at camelbacktrading.org. I'll see all you guys and gals on Monday. Thank you very, very much and have a great weekend.